following request special presentation, the Pancrase Championship from Yokohama, has been pre-recorded. Due to the violent nature of this event, request recommends viewing by adults only.
Hybrid Wrestling, Pancrase. Pancrase Tour, 1996. Truth in Yokohama.
Minasan Kumbawa. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Yokohama Cultural Athletic Hall in Yokohama, Japan, for the Pancrase Association's 1996 Truth Tour. I'm Don the Dragon Wilson. And Pancrase is a new form of martial art competition known as hybrid wrestling, which combines the strikes of karate and kung fu with the grappling, takedown, and submissions of freestyle wrestling and jiu-jitsu. The result is combat entertainment at its finest, with lightning-fast hand techniques, kicking, strikes, takedowns, astonishing leg and arm locks. This is the Truth Tour. With me tonight is a man who's intimately familiar with this ring and, in fact, familiar with many different fight venues. He is the former King of Pancrase and the reigning super fight champion, Ken Shamrock.
Well, Don, it's good to be here in Yokohama, Japan. Some of the things we're going to see tonight is some great combinations of kicks and punches and takedowns, and off of takedowns, we're going to see some great submissions.
Now, you've been involved with this style of Pancrase competition coming out of Japan since its inception, being a former champion. How long has this type of competition been around?
This competition has been going on for centuries. Back in ancient Greece times, they used to do this type of Pancrase games, which Pancrase actually means feet fighting, fist fighting, and ground technique, all combined into one. As the years have gone on, we've gotten away from, they've actually dissected it. They've made judo, judo, wrestling, wrestling, kickboxing, kickboxing. So we have all these forms that used to be just one. So we've gotten away from that. But tonight, we're going to see the mixed martial arts at its finest.
Sounds like we're in for some very versatile and technical bouts. They're billing this tournament as the Truth, and the purpose is to crown a new king of Pancrase. The opponents, Frank Shamrock and Minoru Suzuki. Now, it's no mystery who you're going to be pulling for, Ken, because, I mean, there can't be that many Shamrocks involved in this line of work.
No, there's not. Frank's my little brother, and when I say little brother, I don't mean little, because he's actually very big and he's in great shape. Minoru Suzuki and Frank Shamrock know each other very well, and this is going to be a fight to see.
Well, Bas Rutten had the title before, but he could not compete tonight because he injured his hand. So, of course, your brother will be fighting Suzuki. Now, I understand there's been some common opponents between the three of them.
Yeah, they've both fought Bas Rutten before. Frank fought him actually on his debut in Japan in a tournament, and they went to a draw, so then they went to the decision cards, and Frank had won the decision, and that was his debut. Then they fought again a couple months down the road, and it went to a draw again, and Bas Rutten won on a decision. Frank has also fought Suzuki, and he beat him with a chokehold. Bas has fought Suzuki, knocked him out with a knee. Bas is very powerful, knocked him out with a knee. So they both have fought the same people, kind of gotten the same results, but they're both different types of fighters. So this is going to be a real exciting fight.
There's also a couple of fighters making their debuts tonight, and there's an interesting story along with their beginning in this sport.
And in Japan, they call them young boys, and young boys mean that they haven't had their professional fight yet. But when you see these fights and you see these young boys out there, you're going to be amazed at the technique that they have, because they train for, well, for instance, Yuki Kondo has trained for like a little over a year for this fight, and all he does is eat, sleep, and train. They live in a dojo, and that's their job.
Well, if we can expect this kind of a great show out of the quote-unquote young boys, what can we expect about the rest of the card?
Well, you know, what's going to make this card so exciting to watch is because the versatility of fighters we have from all over we have them from all over the world. We got guys from Holland. Bas Rutten was the reigning champion or former reigning champion. He has a protege on this card, Leon Deek, who I fought before, who is very strong and very good also. We have a guy from Australia, Gregory Schmidt, who has trained with the young boys for months at a time and then gone back home and then came back and trained some more. So he's very well adapted to the submission holds. We have a well-rounded event here and a fight card from people from all over the world fighting in this event.
So we're set for the preliminary matches, which will be 10 minutes each, followed by the ranked fights at 15 minutes, and then the main event, a 30-minute bout between Frank Shamrock and Minoru Suzuki. But first, let's take a look at the rules of Pancrase.
The unique rules of Pancrase allow some attacks that are prohibited in other combat martial arts. Possible attacking techniques: striking an opponent with an open hand, front kick to the knee, rear choke. Techniques that result in falls: striking to the throat, headbutts, striking one's face, head, throat, or neck with closed fists, striking with the tip of the elbow, striking with the knee with no knee pad, striking with the shin with no shin pad, striking with the ball of the foot, striking with the foot with a man on all fours, stomping on the face, punching when a man is down on all fours. Fouls are indicated by cards held by the referee. A yellow card means caution. A red card means warning. When a red card is shown during a fight, the fighter loses a point. Each time a fighter is knocked down to the mat or escapes a submission by grabbing the rope, he will lose a point. When the number of lost points reaches 5, a TKO decision is automatically reached. The match will be decided by knockout, technical knockout, resignation, or judgment.
Tonight's audience, 5,900 people, a sellout crowd. And those of you watching at home are lucky. The ringside seats you see sell for 20,000 yen, or about $200. It looks like we're about to get underway, but before we do, let's talk a little bit about this audience, Ken. Now, I fought here in Japan, and I've noticed that the noise level is about 1/10 of what you'd hear in an American fight crowd. Why is that?
Well, you know, the crowd here in Japan tend to sit and study the opponents or the fighters. They understand when there's a critical move about to happen or when there's a critical submission hold about to be applied. So they respond at that point in time. Other than that, they sit there and they watch the match and they're very quiet. And a lot of it is the way that their culture is. It's more.
They seem to be more respectful.
More respectful, not even more respectful at that, but just more more conservative. Whereas the American people are more boisterous. And it's very exciting to fight in the United States in front of an American crowd, but it's much different to go over to Japan and fight in front of this audience that's very quiet, and unless you do something, they don't respond.
Right.
And as a fighter, you and myself both know that it could make you pick your fight up a little bit faster, thinking that, wait a minute, I'm not doing something right. A crowd has a big part of what's happening in a fight.
Absolutely, it can disorient you. So let's go down to the ring for Pancrase. So here we have, entering the ring, our first bout for the evening. In the green trunks, Yuki Kondo. Entering now in the blue corner.
He's, as you can see, he's 5'11", 198 pounds. He's age 20. His hometown is Niigata, Japan. He has a wrestling background also. This is his debut, so we don't quite know what to expect or what he's going to do in his first fight here in the ring. Like you said, we know the experience is a big thing.
Now coming into the ring, Takafumi Ito, wearing the yellow trunks, and I might add the yellow cap. Now entering the red corner.
Yeah, he's kind of a, he likes to show off a bit. He wears that hat in there. He's very intense. He's 5'9", 172 pounds, age 23, and his hometown is Osaka, Japan. Ito won the Neo Young Boy tournament, the Neo Blood they called it, and it was for the young fighters, and he won that tournament, and that was back in July of 1995. He's actually a relatively small fighter, Ito is. Kondo is much larger and much more power. So I see Ito in this fight having to be much quicker and much more elusive than Kondo. Kondo's going to try and keep him on the ground, use his power, use his technique. And if it goes anywhere in the distance, Ito may have the advantage. But let's see what happens here. Ito's a little cautious. He's going to keep his distance. Kondo's just going to be patient and just kind of stalk him and move him around a bit.
Now, is that weight difference going to make as much of a difference in this style of fighting as it does in boxing?
No, it doesn't because of the ground technique. Ito shoots in very quickly. Right now, Kondo in the green trunks is trying to apply a chokehold to Ito, who is on the bottom in the yellow trunks. He's going to try and get a choke on him, and looks like Ito is no danger at this point in time with that choke. He'd have to get his legs up around his waist to apply the choke. So right now,
I've seen this in the UFC many times where the fighter will hook that leg and then crank that neck.
Yes.
Just lean back and use their body to do the work instead of their arms.
Right. Well, yeah, to sit into the guard position and crank the neck up. Ito comes up out of there very nicely. There's a nice roundhouse.
Now, this seems to be a thing that we've seen in these type of events. When you throw one kick, you don't get another one because they grab the leg.
Yes, they shoot off a kick or a punch, and their timing's very good. Right now, Kondo was in actually a very good position. Ito doesn't want to stay there long, and he lets him up.
Why did he get up like that? Was that out of his own choice?
Well, as you can see, he was close to the ropes. If he tried to apply any submission hold, it would be too close to the ropes. He wouldn't be able to finish the fight. The guy would grab the rope, and they would stand him and break him up again. So he wants to get him to the center of the ring. Besides, he's more strong and more powerful standing up. He lands a good right hand or a kick, he can drop him. He's right now, as you can see, he's going for that choke right there. And he has it in.
Seems to have it there. He's got the legs wrapped around this time.
He has the guard position, he has the choke, and the head is stuck in there pretty well. And with the hand, Ito's trying to push his head down to get leverage to pull his head out. But Ito's in trouble right there. If he doesn't get out of there, it could be all over.
He looks like he's almost ready to tap.
He's in a dangerous position. Referee's looking very close at him, watching his eyes. As soon as his eyes start to close or his body goes limp, he will stop the fight. If Ito doesn't get out of there soon, the referee will have to take a closer look, and anytime his body goes limp, he'll stop the fight. He looks like he's in...
He looks like he's going limp there. Yeah, right.
That was... as you can see, Ito right now, sometimes you can't really tell the difference on that, but his arms are not moving, his eyes aren't responding. The referee's in there close looking at the eyes. If his eyes roll back, just because his arms and limbs are still moving, but if his eyes are not focused, you'll see when he gets up, and we'll watch this and see how he responds when he stands up.
Now that's called a sleeper choke. That's a 21.
That's a front sleeper choke.
Well, Ito is still a little wobbly. Doesn't look like he knows where he's going. They shouldn't let him get out of the ring like that of his own free will. There you go. Well, that's what happens when a fighter walks out after being stunned like that. Ken, show us exactly how Kondo was able to sink in this stranglehold on Ito.
Well, Ito shoots in several times like this, and Kondo's basically sitting back now waiting, and he's tried this choke 2 or 3 times in this fight. But what makes this choke work now, freeze it there, please. What happens is you see his 2 legs right here, one on each side. What's going to make this choke effective is when he swings the leg over the top and this leg over the top and he crosses them, now he has leverage to pull with the shoulders up, which chokes him, the oxygen off from his head, and he puts his pressure down on his legs. If we can roll the tape now, you'll see him start to put the leg up there, and the other one comes up over the top. Now he's got to cross. Now he's got leverage.
Well, I know he's in trouble because the referee moved in very quickly to try to get a good vantage point of Ito's eyes. He was really checking him out.
Right, and you know, like I said, he shot in several times like this, and Ito's tried to choke several times, but what made this thing work this time was that he crossed the legs on the back.
That was the key.
That's the key. It gave him plenty of leverage to choke him. Now, at this point in time, Ito's in trouble because he has Kondo has leverage with his legs. He rolls him over. Now, watch the referee go around. Now, he's going to get perfect view of Ito's eyes. He has a clear view to what Ito is looking like down there. The referee steps in, stops the fight, seeing the fighter is basically halfway unconscious. That's to protect the fighter.
Wow, that happened really quick, too. I could see myself that Ito's arms just went limp at one point.
Yeah, you see him complain a little bit right here about as he puts his hands out there like, what? But at this point in time, we seen earlier that when he got up, he was wobbly. He tried to get out of the ring by himself. He fell down. So the referee stopped that fight at
Rightfully
exactly
so.
right on cue.
Rightfully so. Well, you know, there's a lot of complaining going on to fighters. In fact, I may have complained myself a few times after the referee stopped a fight, but safety first.
That's it.
Next up, an Australian, Gregory Smith in the kangaroo trunks.
He's quite a story. He stayed in Japan for 3 months at a time training with the young boys in Japan to understand submission better, because there's really no place over in Australia for him to learn this type of fighting. So he came over and studied in this for quite a while. He's 6'4", 216 pounds, and he's 25 years, and his hometown is Sydney, Australia. So we got an Australian in there, and he's great at blocking. I've seen him fight before. He's good at blocking submission holds, but he's relatively slow and methodical.
His opponent, Guy Mesger, an American in the red trunks. One of your fighters, I believe, huh, Ken?
Yes, he is. He came to me before an Ultimate Fighting Championship, trained with me. He's 2-0 in the octagon. He's fought in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. He's done very well. He's 6'1", 187 pounds. He's 28 years old, and his hometown is Dallas, Texas. He comes up with me maybe once a month for a week and trains with me before he goes over to Japan. He's quite a story. He's got a great future.
어고날 193cm, 98kg.
Guy Mesker. They introduced the fighters in Japanese, so we don't quite understand exactly what they're saying. The guy looks very determined, and Gregory looks very determined. Guy is a former kickboxer. He has 21 wins and only 2 losses, and he has 18 KOs. So he's good with his hands and feet, and he's pretty good with his grappling also.
I see there he went in for a little knee action, so he's comfortable with the strikes. Here he's getting a good tie hold on his head right there.
A great
good
knee.
position for a knee, but then again, you get one strike and you're on the ground.
Yeah. But
Better make it a good one.
Exactly, but the guy, see, he understands the distance of kicking and punching and a guy shooting, and he can stop a guy from actually taking him down. He's good at kicking and punching, and a guy shoots on him, he's able to fend him off, and if he wants, he can get back to his feet. Right now, he's working for a rear choke. Gregory is actually defending it pretty well, except for the fact that he needs to stay small. The guy's going to let him up. He's perfectly comfortable on his feet. Gregory Smith's not much. Oh, nice roundhouse kick.
Hit there. That's the first good kick we've seen to the head. Now here again, this position that Mesker seems to be getting in is almost like a Thai boxing, where he grabs the head and keeps the elbows in, and then he's shot for another knee.
Well, yeah, but by controlling the opponent's head, you can use the knees, but also you can. There
goes another one.
Nice knee to the
He's
stomach.
sneaking him in there.
Guy will take you apart. Guy's the type of fighter that's gonna sit back. He's gonna work you. He's gonna work you, and he's gonna work you, and he's gonna find an opening, and then he's gonna finish you. There's a nice. That's what we call an arm throw. It was a nice arm throw there, except for that if he'd got his hips in a little deeper, he could have brought him over the top. But he finished it fairly well. He's got him on the ground where he wants him. Gregory Smith, like I said, is the type of person that is sneaky. You know what I mean? You think he's out, and he's an easy opponent. Now, he's got a nice choke going on here.
He's got the legs wrapped around also. He's got the choke that I've seen.
Very, very good. That was nice. He had the legs wrapped around. You said that. He had the legs wrapped around the waist. He had the arms sunk in on the throat.
Now, they broke that because of the ropes. They got tied in the ropes?
Yeah, they were close to ropes, and Gregory reached out with his foot and put it on the ropes, so that they break it at that point. It's a one-loss point, and they have 3 points in this fight, so if he loses 2 more, it will be a TKO.
Well, you know what? I still think it was a good move by Smith, because he was about to get choked out.
Yeah, he would have went to sleep if he hadn't grabbed the ropes. So, right, like I said, Gregory's the type of fighter that doesn't move very fast, doesn't look flashy, but he just hangs around all the time. You know, he's there all the time. Yeah.
Doesn't look real physically fit. I mean, I don't want to say he's out of shape, because there's more to conditioning than just muscle tone, but
I've seen a lot of fighters. Ooh, that was a severe kick to the midsection.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with Mezger's strikes, the knees and the kicks. He's looking pretty good here.
He uses combinations with his knees, his hands, his feet, his takedowns. He works well in a grappling position. Right now, they're gonna
almost got that choke again.
Yeah, I think Gregory is wise to that now. He goes right to his back. When you're close to ropes like that, it's almost useless to try any submission because you're too close to finish the guy, and you don't want to give any of your holds away right away. So he may just work him over here a bit when he's next to the ropes.
Now that almost looked like a strike, but I guess he's just applying pressure with the forearm, the elbow.
You can use that to cross face or apply pressure to the face, but you can't hit with it. You can lay it on there and rub it in and make the guy move.
You can put the pressure on, in other words, but without striking.
Exactly. Right here, he's trying for a choke. Guy is. You see how he slides a hand behind the neck and drops the other one on top of the throat. Tries for a scissor-like choke. And now, what Guys does, looks like he's mounting him, and he knows the rope is there. Gregory knows the rope is there. Gregory is in no hurry to do anything. I'm a little surprised he keeps rolling to his stomach, because I mean,
isn't that a dangerous position to get in?
Very dangerous, because if Guy stops him on his stomach and gets the legs tied up on his legs, then he's like happened earlier in the fight. He is in a severe choke position. But he's near the ropes, so.
Now, what was this break for? What was the reason the referee broke this?
Well, they were close to the ropes. They've been working for a period of time. Nothing was going on. Referee decided to stand them up. Let's restart the action. Let's get some action going here.
No point taking off for anyone in that case.
No, it's just start them over. Let's get some action going.
Well, there was a hook kick. That's the first hook kick we've seen. Didn't land, but it was nice.
Gregory tried for a knee there. Gregory's not known for his kicks or his strikes. He's more known for just submission on the wrestling part.
Now we even have a couple of body shots by Mezger.
Mezger's taking him apart with his body shots, his kicks, his punches.
That softens a man up.
Now that is sweet right there. That is
a nice little move.
That's a tuck under knee bar, and at this point he has the leg extended right there. Severe pain there, and then Gregory Smith showing tremendous amount of.
Oh, there it goes.
He grabbed the rope.
That was it.
His knee was completely extended. Guy could have broken it there if he would have yanked or jerked on it, but it looked like he applied the pressure slowly and allowed Gregory Smith to either tap or grab the rope. Because I tell you, in that position, he could have been severely injured.
Now, why isn't the match over? I thought we saw a tap out there.
No, there wasn't a tap out. He grabbed the rope. And when he grabbed the rope, it breaks it. But I was a little surprised the referee didn't step in and stop the fight because of...
Could have been an injury.
Yeah, because he had the knee completely extended.
Well, that was a movie kick. Now, I've been in a few movies now, and I know a movie kick when I see one. I think Mezger might be auditioning for a film here.
Yeah, he feels comfortable in there. Gregory Smith, but the thing about Gregory Smith, he'll just hang around, and he'll hang around.
He's got that neck,
He's in a bad situation. Hit him with it. That was a straight knee right in there. That was a good shot. Gregory needs to move out of there. Looks like he's got some blood on his lip. He's taking a few shots there.
Yeah, he's a little wobbly himself right now. He looks a little out of it. A good solid shot
could take him out.
Now that kick wasn't going to hurt anybody. Oh.
Yeah, that was nice.
Very nice. If that landed, it would have been a good finish.
Guy's kicks look pretty. That's a good knee.
Good knee. I mean, so far he's the striker of the evening.
Well, I'm a little disappointed in Gregory Smith's performance. He doesn't seem to be launching any offensive attack whatsoever. He's just kind of absorbing the punishment.
He's just there. He's kind of like Gumby. He can just take it.
It's like he just hangs around and hangs around. But I think that he needs to launch an offensive attack and try and do something. I haven't seen that yet in this fight.
No, I haven't. I think at this point he's surviving out there.
Yeah, it is more difficult for a person to lay there and block all the time than it is a person to launch an attack with offensive moves of submission, because it does leave yourself open more. But it looks to me like he's just trying to block everything.
It's very difficult to knock a fighter out whose purpose is not to be knocked out, and I'm sure it's very difficult to get a choke hold or a arm bar leg lock on somebody who just wants to survive.
Yes, and
If he's not going to take a chance to try to get in a position to win, it's difficult.
yeah, you know, you know, that's. I think the referee is breaking him and making him fight. I think that's good, but I think
Well, in that case, he actually did. You know, Smith actually did get the top position. It seemed like he was trying to do something.
Yeah, but you know, I don't think that was an attack. What I saw was a guy went for an arm bar, he missed it, and guy put him in a guard, and Gregory didn't try for a leg lock or to improve his position whatsoever. So if it was my fighter, I would when he stepped out of the ring, I would make sure that he knew that you know, you can't stay around in this league or in this organization unless you're going to go out, take a chance, and try and win a fight. And there's you know, there's no movement, and
but from this position, it just, you know, unless the referee breaks it, I mean, there's not much either of them can do. And I think he is going to, he's trying to incite them to fight a little harder. He's doing something.
yeah, you know,
Smith is, at least he rolled over and as if he's going to attempt to get out of this.
yeah, and guy will work. He's been working the whole time. He's got one more lost point. If Gregory Smith grabs the rope one more time, it's a TKO because he'll have 3 lost points. He already has 2 lost points.
Well, he's limping around. He looks a little bit out of it. He looks tired. Oh, that was a solid shot to the side of the head there.
Yeah, and he goes right back into the ball-up position. There's only 30 seconds left in the fight, so Guy will launch an attack here. He wants to win this fight, as you can see. You know, he's the aggressor. He's the one
Mesker
taking the
is
fight.
He's coming to fight. He's trying to get in leg locks. He's trying to land kicks.
He's landed kicks, punches. He's made him grab the ropes twice. Guy will try something. There he goes. He's going for a knee bar right here. Now he's going to straighten that leg out right there. Now he has it straightened out. Referee could stop this fight at any time, but time ran out. That was good. The guy made Smith grab the ropes twice. He launched the attack on Gregory Smith. I mean, I know the guy's my fighter. He's one of my fighters at Lions Den, but I did not see Gregory Smith not once try and beat Guy with a hold.
Well, it was an obvious win. I mean, Guy Mesker had it all the way. Winner by decision, 10 minutes. Great fight.
Yeah, and you know, he actually had him in 2 knee bars. First one he grabbed the rope, second one he ran out of time, but he also had him in the choke, which he grabbed the rope. I thought Guy did a great job, you know. He's, like I said, he's new with this organization. He's fought 4 times, and Gregory Smith's been doing it for, I believe, a little over a year now.
Here we go with that throw that he had earlier. What did you call it? The arm?
That was an arm throw. What he does, he takes the arm, he sinks it up, and he throws his hips through and whips him over with his arm. And that's a form of a takedown. It's a risky form because a guy, if you don't get him all the way over and he throws his legs over the top, you can get choked. So, but Guy went after him. Guy was trying to win the fight.
Well, it looked good, I can tell you that. I mean, Guy did a couple of things that looked good to me.
Yeah, you know, the knee bars and the chokes were all nice. He had some pretty nice kicks out there.
Wasn't a real competitive fight, but I think it was a good fight for Guy Mesker.
Yeah, but you know, like I said, I was a little disappointed in the performance that Gregory Smith put out. I thought that with his experience and the time that he's been going over to Japan, he could have launched or at least taken some more chances. Now, that's my perspective. That's not everybody's perspective. That's my judgment. That's not everybody's judgment. This is a great choke. He has the legs locked in. And freeze that, please. Right here, you see, he doesn't cross the legs in front. The reason for that, if he crosses the legs over, then Gregory Smith has a chance to throw this leg up, hook the toe, and throw his hips up, and he could break the ankle. So the correct way to put your legs in when you have a guy on his back and his back on your stomach is not to cross the legs over. It's when you got the guy in a guard position where the guy's stomach is stomach to stomach, then you cross. When you got the front choke.
But not the other way around?
No, because you tying your legs up and the guy could throw his legs over your toes and push up on his hips and break your ankle. Now right here, he sinks it. He has his arm right down here. He has this one crossed over the top, so it's like a figure. And he has a leverage here. He throws his hips up and he pulls down, and that cuts off the oxygen to his brain. Referee stand there looking right in his eyes to see if he passes out, and he's also got a peripheral vision to see Gregory Smith's leg come up on the rope, and at that point, when Gregory Smith's foot comes up on the rope, he'll break the fighters before Guy can choke him out. Roll tape, please. You see the foot come up, and when that foot comes up on the rope, he'll then say break and stand the fighters up. Right now, he's on the ropes.
There it goes. There
His
it
foot's
goes.
outside the ring. The referee will step in,
There it goes.
and he will stop the fight and stand the fighters up. That's what we call an escape, and it is one lost point. So Guy is ahead in the fight at this point. Now this is beautiful. Freeze it right here. You see how he steps? He has the arm hook. When he hooked the arm up above here, okay, he ties up the shoulder. He steps, he swings his hips inside. He swings the leg up inside the crotch here, which keeps the guy from sprawling out on you. What he'll do is he'll take his head and he'll shoot it in between the leg here, and this leg will come up and hook the leg here. So when he rolls right into the knee bar. He's already set in the knee bar. He already has the knee locked out. Roll tape, please. Watch this. He'll tuck the head underneath.
There goes his head.
And when he comes up, he has the knee bar already locked out in position. When he rolls over, freeze it, please. See how he has a leg? He has both of his legs tied up right here, which means he has this leg
locked straight.
You can see the green part of the leg there. That's going in between his leg. And his foot is completely out here. He has it completely locked out. What Gregory's going to try and do is take this foot and push down over here to push his arm off. But a guy has it already cinched in there and it's already locked out. Roll tape, please. See how he gets the foot up there and tries to push it off?
He's trying to push his hand off.
He's trying to push it off there. But Guy's trapping both legs now. Now, right here, freeze it, please. In this position right here, as you can see, the leg is completely extended, straight. Guy throws his hips forward and pulls back. What happens is this knee right here will hyperextend or pop out of socket. The referee is looking straight down to see this. Now, if he wants to, the referee can stop this fight. Right at this point in time, he has the option to stop this fight because it is a dangerous hold. This fighter can be severely injured from here. Guy can break his leg if he wants from this position, but this is a sportsman-type event, and we're not out there to hurt anybody or to dismember anybody or kill their career.
Right.
So, but at this point in time, Guy has it locked in, and Gregory is at his mercy. Roll tape, please. And as you can see, Gregory now will grab the rope. And when he grabs the rope, referee will stop the fight, stand the fighters up, and restart them. That is dangerous. I'm really surprised the referee didn't step in and stop that because of the severity of that.
You can see he's in pain.
Oh, absolutely.
Guy's in pain. His knee is in pain right there.
The guy's pointing down to him like
he's holding his leg.
Yeah, that was a good knee bar, good tuck under knee bar.
Coming up now, we have Leon Deek in the black.
Yeah, he's a professional kickboxer. His experience is Bogota, and he's a total fight in Holland. And Boss Rutten is his trainer, so he's got a well-experienced trainer behind him. He's a former king of Pancrase, so he's got some good trainer there for him.
Well, you know, the Dutch fighters are great kickboxers, so I expect they're going to be good Pancrase fighters also.
Yeah, he's fast-growing in this event. He's big, he's strong, he's 6'2", he's 202 pounds, his age is 21. His hometown is Valken, Holland. So we have a worldwide event going on here. We got a guy from Australia, Holland, many places from the world. We have people fighting in this event.
Well, his opponent is Takaku Fuke. Now, he's a Japanese fighter, so, you know, I imagine since this started in Japan, he would be more experienced and possibly not knowing him as a fighter, he would have a little bit of an advantage and an edge over the Dutch fighter.
Yes, he is. He's 5'11", 183 rounds. He's quite small, a lot more smaller than Leon Deek. His age is 27. He's a little older. His hometown is Osaka, Japan. He's given up some weight here. He's given up a height advantage, but he has the experience.
Right, and you've said before that the weight doesn't really matter as much in this type of event as it does for some martial art fight events.
No, it doesn't. As you can see, he has his corner man, Boss Rutten, in there. You know, Fouquet is a black belt in judo, and he trains in kickboxing. He's recently started mastering jiu-jitsu, so we'll see what happens here.
He's got some fancy pants too. Those are pretty sharp.
Yeah, he's
almost
currently
looks like an astronaut.
Yeah, he's kind of flashy there. He's currently a ranking reserver. Well, that was flashy.
That looked like a championship wrestling move there.
A little drop kick.
Yeah, what was that?
Well, you know, sometimes these guys want to try and throw their opponent off, maybe surprise him a little bit.
Kind of a psychological thing.
Yeah, you know, he's been known to do that before, though, so he likes to get out there and mix it up a little bit. Fouquet has been doing this for about 3.5 years, so he has quite a bit of experience that he brings into the ring with him. Leon Deke has been doing this for about probably 6 months. He's going for a front choke, but he doesn't say he doesn't have a leg sunk in.
Well, there it is again. You throw one kick and you're on the floor. So there goes the kickboxing experience that Deke had. Now they're grappling.
Did you see how he did that? He pushed his leg down, he got him in the guard position, and then he rolled him. So Leon's been working on that ground technique along with his kickboxing. So
absolutely.
Now he's
right
on top.
over.
He's on top, and he's in great position. So Fouquet is going to take his time, I'm sure, on the bottom here. As you can see, Boss Rutan looking on there, trying to give his fighter, Leon Deke, some pointers there, his expertise.
And he is an expert. He's a former Pancrase champion.
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, anytime that you win that prestigious belt, you know, that gives you, I mean, to win that thing, you have to have great ability, all the aspects, kicking, punching, and conditioning, ground technique, everything. So right now, it's, you know, it's kind of a stalemate. The referee steps in and breaks them. They see nothing's going on. Neither one of them's taking a chance to stand them, start the action over.
Fight!
Deke seems to take more of a, almost like a boxing.
That was a nice
good kick.
That was a nice lead-in.
Yeah, that was nice. He kind of slapped at him and then came in with a kick. The only trouble is you get one in these type of events, and if you don't do the damage, you're back to grappling.
Yeah, but I thought he landed that kick pretty solid. You know, it didn't knock him out, but it does make him think next time.
Definitely does, and you never know what kind of long-term damage you can have.
Exactly. But that was quite nice. The way he led in with those hands and then finished up with the knee to the head. Right now he's working for some kind of arm lock.
Now that looked like a knee while he was on the ground. Now that's not legal, is it?
Yeah, yes it is. You can
Kind
do
of a
that.
knee strike?
Yes, you can do that.
Oh, okay. Well, he's done a couple of them.
Yeah, I believe that there's no problem with the knee there. As long as he's not on all fours, you can strike the man on the bottom. Right now, they're both, this is a stalemate right here. They both have each other's leg. Neither one of them can really get any leverage from here. So they both have the same amount of leverage. Actually, this is a stalemate. You know, if they sit there too long, a referee will, well, now Fouquet is starting to work his legs across. If he gets them over one another, then he has leverage. There he goes. If he can get that leg, both those legs crossed over on the same side.
It's pretty close a couple of times.
But Leon is doing the right thing by keeping his leg extended. Leon's going for a toe hold. Watch how he turns that toe, tries to turn the toe over.
You know what I've seen many times in this style of fighting is you see the fighters just start rolling with the pressure.
Right.
They just keep rolling and rolling.
You see there, he had a combination knee bar toe hold, but because of the inexperience that Leon has, he did not see the knee bar. But, you know, there's so much going on in there. I mean, you can't see it all. Even myself, when I'm in there fighting and I look at the tapes and I go, man, I had that. You know, but you don't notice those things when you're fighting.
Right, I'm sure they've got a million things going on in their head right now. Besides what they're trying to do, what the other guy's trying to do to them. It's got to be foremost on their minds right now.
Fouquet's in a very dangerous position right there. He has his legs crossed over, but now he's got them uncrossed. What you're seeing here is two fighters are working for a position to put the other person into a submission hold and make him tap out. And as you can see, you know, it's very difficult to position yourself or get the other person into position to do a submission hold. It's a lot of years of experience, a lot of training. Right here, Fouquet's not in a bad situation. He has both his legs inside. And if he could turn that toe over...
he looks to be putting some pressure on that foot.
If he could turn that toe over...
but he's
slid out of that.
Deke is pretty slippery in there.
Yeah,
he's
and
pretty.
I fought him, and he's strong.
Oh, there's another knee again. You know, he's the first guy. There's another one. You know, that looks pretty deadly to me.
Yeah.
If you forget that knee could come up, you can put yourself in a vulnerable position.
Yes, turning your face into it.
Ooh, almost got him in a. There's a knee again.
Yeah, he wants to use that knee. Fouquet's facing him.
Ouch, that hurt.
Fouquet's facing the knee, and if he really can't
You better be
turn
careful.
into that thing, because you're going to take a shot there and break your nose, or even maybe get knocked out.
Yeah, he has landed several. Look, he's trying to put his hand over his head. I mean, those are hurting me from here.
Yeah, those don't feel good.
Oh.
You know, it looks like he slid out of the ring there. There's no lost point on that. No one grabbed the rope.
Right.
Nobody scooted out on purpose. It was the way they were rolling, so it's just a break, start them over. There's no lost point. No one has the advantage from that situation. He's fixing the knee pad, making sure that the knee's not exposed when he kicks or knees.
Oh, man, you gotta watch this. Deke, he loves that knee.
Yeah, you know, like I say, he's a kickboxer over in Holland, and knees, you know, they use a lot of knees over there, so you can see his experience showing up on
Right,
that.
even on the ground, he still goes to that.
Well, you know, he's a kickboxer first, and you're seeing that that's his strong point, and that's Fouquet's weak point.
Right. Not to say, as you said before, that he's not well schooled in the ground fighting, because I mean, after all, he trains with a former Pancrase champion. There
Right.
goes that knee on the top of the head.
I wouldn't stay there too long if I was Fouquet. I mean, after a while, you get a little irritated. Well, that was a nice move.
He knocked it out. Now, why did they break? He grabbed the rope.
He grabbed the rope. That's one lost point.
Well, he felt that knee out there.
Yeah. Well, that was the one he was hitting him with. So Fouquet say, I want to do something with that thing.
He just landed a very good, solid front kick there.
Yeah, he's working for a front choke.
Well, now see, he went behind him. Now, I thought he was in pretty good position to try to work that.
Well,
From where we sit, you never know.
Yeah, you know, you go for a front choke because if you can't, he's got a nice rear choke on there.
He's got him real good there on the back.
He doesn't have the legs in, you know. The legs are so important with any of these submissions. You
Here
really
goes
got to lock the legs
Here's
in.
another one, but no, the legs aren't in.
And he's pushing up on his throat. That's very uncomfortable also.
Oh, he's putting him in position for that knee.
Yeah. It's not a very comfortable situation.
You know
knowing
you're
gonna
getting a
get hit.
headache when you see a fighter starting to put his arm over his head. You know he's taking some shots.
Yep. And Fouquet is getting a little irritated with that knee.
Yeah.
He's going, where's that thing coming from?
There goes another one. I mean, he just popped him in the ear with that one. And that, I think, is what's given him this little escape here.
Well, see, you can't do that. No, that's...
He's on the ground and he's being kneed. I don't think that's...
No, see, now that was an illegal. There should have been a break and a warning on that. But you know, I know some of these referees are inexperienced. You know, especially the earlier matches, these referees are learning. Like I told you about the knee being extended with Guy Metzger's fight.
Right.
And then also being this gentleman being kneed, Fouquet being kneed while he's on all fours.
Well, I'm all for learning, Ken, but you know, I don't want to be in there in a knee lock with the referee learning. You know, but it's a growing phase. This event and sport is evolving, as all sports, and it's only 2 years old. I'm going into the third year, so we're seeing a kind of a growing process here.
Yes, he's got his legs, one leg in. No, he missed it there. So this, you know, Fouquet right at this point in time is winning the fight because he has the one point that Leon Deke has lost. So Leon needs to really work to try and get Fouquet in a submission, or at least maybe grab the ropes and bring the match back to even again.
Whoa, he better watch that knee.
Yeah, he doesn't want to put his face out there too much. But Leon Deke has got 1 minute left, they just announced, and Fouquet is going for the finish here. Leon Deke's not in bad position right now to try for a submission hold here. And he's got see what he's got there. He's got an ankle lock on.
He's cranking it, yeah. But what does he need to do? Straighten that leg out?
Yeah, what he needs to do is get his legs together and clamp his knees together, and then throw his hips forward. But he's got it too low on the ankle. He needs to bring it up higher. Fouquet's in a good position for a knee bar. He spins around.
Oh, he's got his leg straightened out.
Yes, he does. Oh man, if he could just extend it.
I think he's trying to get that grip off of his ankle.
See, he didn't have his legs clamped together. You see how loose that was? And he was able to roll and spin the leg out. See, he needs to scoot his hips down, clamp those legs together. And they ran out of time. That was, you know, that was a good ending on that fight, you know. It was very close.
Yeah. These guys are very evenly matched, but I think that one penalty point, as you said before, is probably going to make the difference.
Yeah, and Fouquet won on a decision because of the lost point.
There it is.
When he got Leon in that knee bar. But that was a pretty good fight there.
Yeah, that's the best fight of the night. Most evenly matched fight with quite a bit of action.
Yeah, it was very good.
Going back and forth.
Now there's Boss Rudy, the former king of Pancrase. Yeah, that was outstanding there. Fouquet did a good job. Leon Deke did a good job. That was a good fight.
Both of them. Excellent.
So
just that one penalty point made a difference.
yeah, this was sweet right here. Freeze it. He's going to step over with this far leg. He already has this leg inside. Okay, so this leg here, he's going to just step over the body and plant that leg right here. As he does that, he's going to scoop with this hand, and this hand is going to come around and scoop that leg, and he's just going to sit back here with the leg already clamped down, with the leg already extended, and it's going to, that's where Leon Deke right at this point in time, he should have straightened his leg and got his leg out of there. But roll the film, please. You'll see how he steps over, boom,
He leans
stop.
back. He's got it totally straight.
Freeze. Right here, man. I mean, he has that thing completely straight, and this is another good point.
But
the rope.
Deke's got that
That's
right
it.
there, I think.
He
That's
feels
the
that
save rope.
immediately. He says, wait a minute, I'm in trouble. He grabs the rope. But at this point in time, if Fouquet wants, like I said, he grabs a rope. He knows that at this point in time, he could severely hurt him. But we're all trained not to go beyond a point of disabling your opponent, at least on purpose. And the referee jumps right in there, breaks it up. He sees him grab the rope. So at that point in time, he knows that he has to break him, start him over. At this point here is there's really no advantage point because he has his legs locked out, how he's extended it straight right there. So that doesn't give him any leverage or any pressure. And Fouquet is doing the same thing, keeping his legs straight. So you don't have any leverage at that point in time. Both fighters are keeping their leg straight. Now, if he was to get this knee bent back this way and then throw his hips down inside here, he could create a lot more leverage on Fouquet's leg.
Well, he's definitely using, I can tell by the expression on his face, as much muscle power, but he's not getting the leverage.
Right. Right here, he's trying to spin into a knee bar. And at this point, he has a great knee bar. But I want to show you something on here where he makes a mistake is he does not tighten the legs down. He allows Leon to roll his leg over at this point. Freeze it, please. Right here, he can finish Leon Deke. He's not close to the ropes. He has all this space to work with right in here.
Right.
He cannot reach a rope anywhere, okay? So if he clamps his legs together here, pulls this way, and throws his hips this way, it creates a lot of pain on the knee area right in here. And it will force him to tap out. Either that or it will hyperextend his knee. If you roll the tape, you'll see how he rolls over.
Well,
He
this seems
pushes
to be,
out.
Yeah, this seems to be how he got out of it, was he released that lock on it. He used his foot to push those hands away, and he was so concerned with getting the lock that he didn't
Well,
really...
look at the leg flopping out there. Okay,
It's loose.
He's not clamping down on the knees, and it allows him to turn his knee down to the ground and takes away his leverage. So
And you can see Deke is well trained. He's rolling, constantly rolling, going with it.
well, he knew at that position he had to get out, otherwise the fight was over. So you know, you see these guys, they're not quitters. These guys are going to fight until the referee stops the fight, or they're in a situation where they can't stand the pain anymore and they're going to tap.
Coming up next is Katsuomi Inagaki in the red trunks.
Yeah, he's a black belt in judo, and he has extreme power and stamina. His last fight, he beat Tone Stelling, and he was a founder of Budokan, a total fight in Holland. So he's very strong. He's 6'1", 198 pounds, age 26. His hometown is Nagano, Japan. He's, I I've seen him fight before. He's, in fact, as I fought him before, he's pretty strong.
You should know him then. His opponent, Jason DeLucia, another product of the Lion's Den and the UFC. Since you work out with DeLucia, I'm sure you can give us some information on his fighting style.
Yeah, he's come a long ways. He's 5'11", 200 pounds, he's 26. His hometown is Bellingham, Massachusetts. He trained with me for over a year. He stayed with me in my fighter's house. He was there for a year, almost a little over a year, and he's come a long ways. He fought in the Ultimate, and he's done very well in Pancrase.
I understand he's known for his kicks. Do you think he'll be using them tonight?
He's lightning quick with his hands and feet, and we'll see this in this fight, I'm sure. Every fight, his hands and feet are very quick. He's a very technical fighter. He moves well on the ground, and his technique is very good.
DeLucia in the black trunks.
Yeah.
Nagaki in the red trunks.
Nagaki is strong, and he also, his technique is very good, and he has some good kicks, but he's not as quick as Jason. There's those hands.
Whoa, that was the biggest slap that I've seen Jason do. A big right hook there. And the first side kick I've seen.
He's got great combinations. The Nagaki's a little slower, so he's going to have to try and get Jason down on the mat and try and control him. Jason's going to size him up. Nagaki's sizing Jason up. It's they're both trying to see the opening.
Nice little slap there by Jason. A little right, almost like a right hook.
Now he's going to tuck for a knee bar, but he didn't quite get that. When Nagaki turned his hips out. It was a good defense on the knee bar there. Now Jason, from this position, Jason works very well. He sits in arm bars, and his technique with leg locks and arm bars are very good. We're going to see something happen here. He's improved so much since a year and a half ago.
Now, is this kind of a disadvantage to be so close to the rope? I mean, you can work and work and work and get in a hold, and your opponent can just reach across and grab the rope.
Right, and you don't want to give away any of your strong strategies right off the bat when he grabs the rope. You want to try and work him to the center or get you between him and the rope. See how he sat into that knee bar? It was very quick. Nagaki was waiting for it, but the technique is there for both these guys. Both these guys, Nagaki's has good strategy on the ground. Jason has good strategy on the ground. They both set up their moves very well. You know, this is going to be a very good challenge for Jason here.
You know, Ken, what impresses me about these two guys, you lose track of the size of them. You know, these are 200-pounders. They'd be heavyweights in any other sport. And look at how quick and how smooth they move.
Well, you know, it's that cross-training that they get into. They have to understand that they have to move quick on the ground, and they got to be able to move in and out of smoothly out of holds, because if they hesitate, the opponent's gone. He's not there for him anymore. Now, they broke him on that because they rolled underneath the ropes, so they had to break him and start him over here. Jason's using some combinations.
Oh, looks like he hurt him with one of those
you know, that's
palm strikes.
Yeah, see, you know, on something like that, people don't understand it. When you get popped in the ear or in the side of the temple with an open hand, man, you lose your balance for a second.
You know, I see some cauliflower ear on Inaki. I think he's been hit several times on those ears.
Yeah, or rubbed on him, or you know, you get that wrestling. A lot of wrestlers get that because of the rubbing on the ear when the shot and takedowns and things of that nature. Right now they're in this tied position right now, and they're looking for an opening to take the man down or throw a strike, as Jason did there.
Again, DeLucia sneaks in one of those little shin strikes.
He missed with that right, and Nike shoots right in right away. Now, right now, Jason's going to try and set him up for him to move one way or the other to see where there's going to be an opening. Inaki just tried to put his legs up to try for an arm bar. He's going to throw those legs up around the head. Jason leaves an arm hanging in there. He'll swing in for an arm bar. Like I said, this is a good spot for Jason. He's very good at when he's in this position.
What's he going for right there with that leg over his head?
What he'll do is he'll throw that leg around the back of the head, and if the guy moves to the right, he'll armbar him. If he moves to the left, he'll leg choke him if he gets that leg underneath the head. Now this is beautiful right here. He goes for the shoulder lock, and Nagaki right there has escaped, and the referee doesn't see it. You see how he had that locked out?
Right. It looks like he had it. He wouldn't have gone for that rope and gotten that point off if he didn't have
Would
it.
have just look at his shoulder.
Right.
So that's a lost point now. So Jason is leading in the fight at this point. But so far, you know, this has been a pretty good match, but Jason seems to be out-thinking him. He's one step ahead of Inagaki at this point. He's always thinking one step ahead.
And he likes to swing in those palm strikes, I'll tell you that. He has went for another good solid strike.
Inagaki shoots in off a kick, which is a favorite thing to do for a grappler. Time the kick, shoot in, take the man down. Now Jason's got him in a guard position, a loose guard position. He ties up the legs behind there with his legs, and at this point he can sit there and basically wait to see what Inagaki's going to do. Inagaki needs to, would try to improve his position by splitting the guard and getting up in a mount position or a side position, one of the two. Right there, Jason has him in a pretty snug chokehold. That's
Wow, that was the first time I saw something like that. Now, what exactly did he do? He had him from the front, and it looked like he just had like a firm grip on his neck. I didn't really see it as a choke.
That was a choke. He had the arm slipped up a knife inside on the Adam's apple, and behind it, he had the head behind the head, and he was doing like a scissor choke, a side choke almost. Well, you know, that was a good choke that Jason put on there. It kind of snuck up on Inagaki. I don't think he even realized that Jason had that position on him.
No, it definitely surprised me. I've never seen anybody choked out quite like that.
Yeah, you know, you slide that hand inside on the Adam's apple, you brace on the back of the man's head, and it creates a lot of, not only does it create a choke on him, but it does create a lot of pressure and pain on the Adam's apple. Right here, Jason's in a position, and this, like I said, he loves this position. He's good at this position, the mount position as we call it. And he could do arm bars, leg chokes. As we've seen a guy rolls, he could choke from the rear. Right here, he pushes the head away and tries to roll into an arm bar, but he misses it. Nagaki slides the arm down between the legs. But here, he'll put him back into guard position to where he's relaxed, and the referee will break it and stand him back up. Jason tries a straight hand right there. And again, he's very quick and elusive. And as you can see that, he hit him directly in the ear, which obviously knocked him for a loop. And he could not regain his foot or where he was at, so he hit the mat. And at this point in time, he's seeing stars, I believe. Now, freeze it, please. At this point in time, Jason's going to see how he has the leg hooked right here, and he has this leg over the top. What he's going to do is he's going to roll. This leg's going to come out, and this leg's going to chop, and he's going to roll him. He has the arm in here already there. He has this one braced behind the neck. As you can see, the far hand is tucked inside over the shoulder on the neck. Okay, so it's cutting off his oxygen from that point. And he'll keep this arm back here when he rolls to brace the head and keep it off the mat. When he rolls, it creates a tremendous amount of pressure on the side of the neck and creates a choke. Roll tape, please. See how he traps him, rolls him over. The hand is already inside there, and it's hard to see it. You cannot see it from there. Freeze tape. But as you remember, he had that one arm tucked way up inside on the throat, and the other one was braced behind the head. Then he used the legs to roll him and turn him. Now, see how tight he is in here? He has no looseness in there. Everything is wrapped around the back and front of the neck. It creates a tremendous amount of pressure on the throat and cuts off the oxygen to the brain. Not only does it create a lot of pain on the Adam's apple, and that's why Inagaki tapped out. Roll tape, please. And you'll see him tap out quite quickly. See how the hand flickers there?
Right, there's nothing he can do. There it is.
Freeze, please. Now, as you can see how I told you, he has the arm braced underneath the head, behind the neck. The other hand is going up and inside here on the throat, on the Adam's apple.
So it's in front of his throat.
Yes, it is. It's right on the Adam's apple and on the throat where the blood runs to the brain. He's cutting off the blood to the brain, and he's creating pressure on the Adam's apple. And if he stays there too long, as you seen his hand flicker earlier, he's losing oxygen, or not oxygen, but blood to the brain, which is causing him for that reflex to start flickering like that. He knows he's going, and so that's why you see him tap. Roll tape, please. See how he had the hand tucked up in there on that throat right there when he came up?
Right. He had it in so tight I couldn't see it before.
It's in there tight, and it's really snug. And when it's put on and you get the rolled over, you have probably a span of about 2 to 3 seconds to get out of that. If not, you're going to sleep.
Our next match should be an interesting one. A 15-minute fight between one of the biggest Japanese fighters Pancrase has, Ryoshi Nagasawa.
Yeah, Yanagisawa is a big kid. He's like 6'4", 6'5", 220 pounds. He's lean. He's in great shape for a big guy. He's had problems with his knees. As you can see, they're taped. He's had his knee broke. He was out for a year. He had training. He's 6'3", 242 pounds, and
wow.
He's age 23, and his hometown is Amuri, Japan. And he is a big fighter, and he throws big kicks. He likes high kicks. He likes to throw them heavy.
His opponent is Masa Funaki. Funaki is one of the founders of Pancrase.
Yeah, now Funaki, in my opinion, is probably the most well-rounded fighter in the Pancrase organization. He has great kicks and great punches. He has great sense on the ground of submission, and he's a master of what he does. He's 6 foot, 209 pounds, age 26. Hometown is Amuri, Japan, also from the same
I understand
town.
he's a very popular figure here in Japan. In fact, I was reading some of the press, and they say Funaki is the perfect fighting specimen.
Yeah, he is.
And I don't know what this means, but it's in quotes. He even took out all unnecessary muscles. You fought Funaki, Ken. What do you think about this bout?
Well, I don't think there's a question. Like I said, anybody can win in these fights, but Funaki is definitely favored to win this fight. But Funaki's in great shape, and like I said, in these type of fights, you never know. All it takes is one mistake. Funaki makes a mistake, and Aji will take him out.
Right. Funaki in the red, Yanagisawa in the yellow.
Yeah, Funaki injured his hand training, so he hasn't been able to do the same similar type of powerful strikes and kicks and punches that he's normally used to. So he tries to do a lot of defense standing up because of the injury on his hand. Funaki, you watch him, he studies his opponent. He's a very smart fighter, and he hit him with a knee right there.
Good knee.
And he's going for a shoulder lock right here. Try and step over and turn that arm behind the back. And it creates a lot of pressure on the shoulder. See how he's got it right there? Now Aji's got to get out of that. And if Funaki sits down or steps that leg over the top, Aji could be in big trouble. But that's one thing about these guys. They train for over a year, and the only thing they do for a long period of time is block. So they have great ability to block submission holds. And then, of course, from that point on, they learn how to do them also. You see the tape on Yanagisawa's knee. He's had, like I said, he's had a blown-out knee and has recovered it from it. And but he still hasn't regained full control over it. That's part of submission. You have those injuries. You and I know as well as anybody when you're in a fight that you have those injuries. And
that's all part of the strategy, though. I mean, nobody goes in there 100%.
Yeah, and if you are, then you haven't been fighting long enough.
Well, I'm noticing certain things. Now, I saw these two fighters, and it looked to me like Funaki was in a position to get hit by a knee, but Yanagisawa doesn't throw that technique. So a lot of this depends on who you're fighting as to what you have to defend against.
Right. Yeah, you study your opponents. You know exactly what they like to do a lot of times, and you can understand it. Right here, Funaki's trying to get him in a side crank where he creates a lot of pressure on the ribs. If he gets his head over on the other side and turns his legs over and up and gets his head on the other side of Yanagisawa's, keeps his hand locked, he puts a lot of pressure on the rib, and you can actually crack a rib from doing that. But I think Yanagisawa, like I said, they train together a lot, so they're pretty smart to that.
A lot of times these technical bouts, for people that are not in the know, they don't really know the strategy that's being played out here. To them, this may look like kind of a slow bout, but to those in the know, like these Japanese spectators, they're watching the techniques. They
Absolutely.
respect this.
Yeah, they do. You know, Funaki has actually been trained 11 years of professional wrestling, experience, and he is the most popular fighter in Japan in the Pancrase organization. People love him down there, and his techniques are great.
Now, what was that? It looked like a little short body shot there.
Well, you know, he gets dig little
threw
shots.
a little dig to the body.
He wants to let him know that, hey, you know, I'm here, and if you don't move, I'm going to hit you. So, you know, if a guy sits there and stalls too long, you know, you'll see another fighter get angry or get frustrated, and he'll throw some shots, you know, which is perfectly legal. But you don't want to do that as a sportsman. But sometimes if a guy's just holding on, you got no choice.
Right. It is a legal technique. It just doesn't score that much of a point. You're pretty sure you're not going to take a guy out with a little short shot like that.
Right.
But I think it can get your attention.
Right. You know, Funaki studied boxing, jiu-jitsu, submission wrestling, kendo, Japanese fencing, and Thai boxing. So, you know, he's a well-rounded fighter. And Aji, you know, he's got some pretty good kicks. You know, he'll throw a high kick here, and his feet are heavy, you know, because he's so big. And when he hits you, it's like a tree trunk.
Both these fighters have a lot of respect for each other.
Yes, they do. You know, they all know each other. And that's one thing about training with these. They all know each other pretty well also, and it makes it pretty tough. And Funaki, you know, he's going to take his time. And, you know, Aji has a lot of respect for Funaki. He knows what he can do to him. So he's obviously a little more cautious. That was a good, you know, Funaki tried to throw a punch, and he ducked and shot and took him down.
But then again, the takedown itself does not score a point. You know, I wrestled in college, and that would have been a score in college, but this is not for points.
No, you know, this is to a guy who taps out or is knocked out. You know, this is what it's all about. You know, you don't win by putting a guy on his back, because that fight's not done when you put a guy on his back.
Many
Fight's
times
done when he
fighters
taps.
are winning from the back.
Absolutely. Well, you know, in this day and age, the way things have been done, you see, that was a nice turn that he did there on Yanagazawa. But in this day and age, you know, that people are learning to fight from their backs, from on top, and from a standing position. You know, we got a lot of cross-training going on. And this is due to Pancrase and the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Now, this looks like a dangerous move right here. This looks like it could put a lot of pressure on the arm.
Yeah,
He's
and
got
it
his
is.
hand behind his shoulder.
Well, he's pulling his head away and pulling his arm away, and it creates a lot of pain. Right now, Funaki's working for a arm bar. He's keeping that arm in tight. He's sliding his knee up around the shoulder area, trying to get to Yanagazawa to roll away from him, and he'll slide his foot underneath and over the head, and he'll put the elbow up on his hip. Right now, he's got his foot in a good position, and he'll try for that arm bar. He's sliding his hand inside, and now he's in a good position. And now Aji has to move from there. He's in trouble, and he does. That was good. If he would have stayed there, Funaki would have been able to straighten his arm out into an arm bar. Yeah, you see Aji grab a leg.
Very experienced.
Yes.
I mean, their thinking, the strategy, the technique being applied here is amazing.
Yeah, you know, they don't, like I said, they don't train for a year and not learn anything. These guys are very skilled at what they do. And, you know, like I said, I fought both these guys, so I know the type of skill level that's going on in there.
How many hours do they have to train like this? How many hours are they on a mat working and wrestling like this a day to stay in this shape?
Well, you know, they have to, they train in the morning. They do a lot of cardio work. This is a nice turn right there. He trapped that leg in there and elevated him over. But, you know, they train 2 hours in the morning. You know, they do their cardio, their jump rope, and their wrestling and sparring and all that, all in a 2-hour period. And then they break and they eat and they rest and they go back at it at nighttime, and they do a lot of cardio and a lot of technical, a lot of checking holds and different things of that nature. So, you know, and you're talking for a year and a year and a half, and sometimes some people 3 years, you know. So, I mean, you know, your technique is gonna be outstanding when you're training that long and you got nothing else to worry about.
What is Funaki trying to do at this point? What do you think he is going for in this match? Is there one thing, or is there several things? Is he just going from moment to moment? Do you think he actually has a strategy that where he can actually try to predict how he's going to get the advantage?
Yeah, you know, you see how he goes from one hold to another, and when Aji moves, obviously he loses the hold, but he doesn't stop at that hold. That was a nice front kick there. Caught Funaki off guard.
Yeah, and you know, he faked it and then went for the takedown.
Yeah.
But didn't get him very far.
But you know, Funaki goes from one hold to another hold. He sets one up and he goes for another. If he misses one, he goes for another. So he's got 1,000 holds. He knows a lot. He's been doing it for 11 years, so he has a lot of weapons that he knows. Like I said, I think he's the most well-rounded fighter out of all the people in the Pancrase organization. Right now, he's going for a hammer lock again, which is a shoulder lock. He's going to put a lot of pressure on the shoulder if he can get that arm up and over the side of the waist. He has
He seems to have gone for this a couple of times. He goes for that one arm.
Yeah, now he's got a straight arm out there. It's a straight arm bar.
What was that? The referee stepped in? Was that a...
Yeah, he had a straight arm
Did he
bar.
tap out?
Yes, he did. He had his arm completely straightened out, and the referee saw that his arm was completely straightened out, and the referee had to step in and stop the fight because I think Yanagisawa's hand was tied up inside and could not tap. But we'll go over that on the telestrator and show you exactly how it was. But winner by stopping the fight because he had the arm extended and it was in a dangerous situation.
So the referee stopped it, but actually the fighter tapped out immediately after the stoppage.
Yeah, he was.
Yanagisawa actually did go for a tap.
Yeah, he was in a vulnerable situation there where he could have been, you know, severely hurt because he had the arm completely extended and was locked out. And so there was a nice little acrobatic move by Mr. Funaki. He likes to do that sometimes at the end of his fight. Now right here, freeze it please. Right here, you see how he has the arm bent this way?
Right.
And he's going to take the wrist and just turn it behind the back here, and that creates a lot of pressure on the shoulder here. He's got his head trapped so he can't drop to the mat. He's got him up here so he has plenty of room to move that arm up and put a lot of pressure on there. Roll tape, please. He'll break the arm loose. There goes the arm straight up. Now that creates a lot of pressure. Now Aji will move out of this because if he doesn't, he's going to end up separating his shoulder. This here is the same situation. He has the same lock on there, and he's going to try and get it up over the waist and pin it behind his back. And like I said, that creates a lot of pain. But Aji's got his hands locked in there and is not allowing, he's got his hands locked on his waist right here, not allowing Funaki to pull that open. But when he steps over here, he could sit in for an arm bar here.
He's pulling it.
What he's trying to do is get Aji to come up, and he's going to swing in maybe for a leg choke or an arm bar. See right there, he's in position for a leg choke. And if Aji pulls out one certain way or another, he can also go for an arm bar. See the leverage he has here? Now when he's...
Funaki's been tenacious with that. He
goes from one to another. Now right here, freeze it please. You see the arm, look at the arm. That's Yanagisawa's arm completely all the way out here, straight out. Now what's going to happen is Funaki's going to pull his elbow in and push this hand out. And this hand is going to go out. Okay? What that does is the same thing as a knee bar earlier in the fight. You saw how they threw the hips in and pulled back with the ankle. That's going to create a lot of pressure on that elbow and could snap that elbow. As you see the referee, he's asking him if you give up. He's pointing to him. And he sees the arm here, that it's fully, completely extended. You see how Yanagisawa's hand is straight up here? It's open like he's getting ready to tap. A roll tape, please. See how it's extended there? Now the referee's going to step in because Aji, at this point in time, Funaki can break his arm at that point. You see the pain on the face.
He was in too much pain to tap out. Ken, those were some exciting matches with some surprise endings. Let's recap some of the highlights.
Yeah, we just saw Funaki apply an arm bar on Yanagisawa, and Yanagisawa did not want to tap out, so the referee had to step in and stop that fight because in fear of severe injury to the arm. The other good fight was a Leon Deke and Fouquet, which that went to a decision. Fouquet won the decision on that. That was actually a very good fight. Another one was Jason DeLucia, who is a part of the Lion's Den, who applied several submission holds before he actually caught Inagaki in a shoulder lock. The next fight, which was a surprise to me, because I know both these guys, was Ito and Kondo. Because Ito had shot in the same time twice, doing the same thing. Kondo knew this, so he set him up. When he shot in the second time, he hooked him in a front sleeper and put him to sleep. The referee had to stop in and break that because he was out. He could not tap. The referee sees this. He steps in, breaks the fight to also protect the fighter. So it was a good evening of fights, and we have a big one coming up.
So let's get back to our main event in the ring. This one will decide who will be the next king of Pancrase. As we said, the reigning king, Boss Rutan, has injured his hand, so this match will determine who takes his place until he's able to fight. We have the two top seeds in the tournament. Now coming into the ring, Frank Shamrock out for his first title. Frank's come a long way in a short time, Ken, but Suzuki's got the experience. What were you telling Frank going into this fight during the training?
Well, you know, he has to stay focused. He has to stay to his game plan. Don't let the hype, the press, the excitement of being in a championship fight mess you up. Frank is 5'10", 195 pounds. He's 23 years old, and of course he's lived in Rockford, California. So, but some of the things I told him was, you know, just stay focused and keep your mind focused on what you want to accomplish out of this fight.
Here we have his opponent, Minoru Suzuki. He was a former king of Pancrase himself. Lost his title to Boss Rutan. Now he's here to regain it.
You know, he's a very intense individual. He likes to use eye contact to intimidate his fighters. He's not a big fighter. He's 5'10", weighs 183 pounds, and he's 27 years old. And his hometown is Yokohama, Japan. But he's lightning fast on his takedowns, and he's very quick putting submissions together. As far as submissions on the ground, he's the most sneakiest. He's very elusive and very quick.
How do
you feel watching your brother in there, knowing that you know, he could be coming home with a championship belt tonight?
I got goosebumps, you know. I mean, you know, it's just that you kind of think back to when you had your first shot at a title, or when you were in that situation and you had these goosebumps, and that you've worked so long and hard for this time, and you just want to go out there and just the best, the king of Pancrase. You have the elite title.
They both got black trunks, but I think it's going to be pretty easy to distinguish between the two fighters.
Yeah,
Shamrock, the Caucasian fighter. Suzuki, the Asian fighter, Japanese fighter.
Yeah, you know, and you're going to see these guys. It's a 30-minute time limit bout, okay? So you're going to see these guys, you know, they don't want to do too much all at one time, but yet they don't want to do, they have to do enough to try to work for a submission, maybe finish it fast. But they don't, well, there's a nice roundhouse kick.
Almost snuck it in there.
And they're both, and both Frank and Minoru have fought each other before, Suzuki. So they know each other fairly well. So they kind of got an idea what the other person's capable of doing. So there's a lot of respect. That was a nice roundhouse kick. And Frank is fairly he's quick for a big guy.
Looked like he was going to go for a little body shot there, too. So as of right now, these guys are content to just sit and strike.
Well, you know, there's been no opening for a takedown or a shot. Suzuki, it's been real. Frank's kicks are so quick, Suzuki hasn't been able to time him yet, but he's working on that, and Frank knows he's working on it.
Well, it's dangerous because if your timing's not right there, you're going to walk right into a knee or a shin.
Or you walk into the roundhouse, you know, you drop, because you got to drop your hands to shoot in, and once you drop them, if that roundhouse hits you on the chin, you're going down. See a lot of feeling out process here to see what the other, they both know each other well, but they don't really, you know, they don't want to make that mistake.
Good, powerful back-legged roundhouse kicks by Frank. He's really putting him in there. He's not just throwing them for show. He's putting some force behind it.
And you see the movement, you know, they all know where they're at in the ring, and they work that ring. You know, that's part of being a champion, you know. You have to know how to work the ring. You got to know where you're at all times. Oh, that was nice. Lifting him up off the ground. Well, Frank came down and wants to put him in that half-guard position. And he'll try and work himself to where he gets into a guard position. Suzuki wants to work himself out and get into a situation where he can put Frank into a submission hold. And Frank's going to try and keep the leg locked up on there, try and keep Suzuki neutralized in that position so that he can't get position around the side of the head and free the leg in order to, because if he does that, then he's in a good position to try for a submission hold. So neither one of them are in an advantage position right here. Even though Suzuki's on top, he's still not in a very strong position. And you see Frank how he locks the head down. It keeps Suzuki from being mobile. He'll pull the head down and lock one leg up, and it keeps him from really being mobile and being able to move around the body freely. And you may hear the referee caution him a couple times, you know, hey, let's wrestle, because in a fight like this, no one's really gonna want to make a mistake, you know, this early. They're trying to feel each other out in the fight. They're trying to work for position. Frank is trying to get him in the guard. Don't let him get in an advantage position where he can do a submission hold. He's gonna try and keep him locked down. And Suzuki, on the other hand, is going to try and get his head loose, try and get into a mount position to where he can freely move for a submission. And right here, Suzuki has just cleared the leg. Okay. Now Suzuki's in a good position right now to work Frank for an arm bar or get into a top mount position. Suzuki has the advantage position right at this point. You got to get to top mount here. And you see how he sprawls out on him and he hooks the toes in there on the legs.
Well, you know, Funaki, when he got in the same position, kept going for one arm and trying to tie it up and trying to get some kind of a arm lock on his opponents. But Suzuki doesn't seem to be doing that. He's has not gone for that one arm. Each guy has their own techniques, I guess, and their own strong points and their own strategies.
Yeah, well, you know, with Suzuki, he's not strong like Funaki. You know, he doesn't have that power. And you'll see Frank sliding his arms underneath his legs. You see how he's sliding his arms underneath his legs? Now, Suzuki has to move there, or if Frank slides that arm underneath there, he'll pop him over right there.
There it is.
Now he'll pick him up. Now, there's a lot.
What's he trying to do there to that leg? Is he trying?
He's trying to hook the leg. He's trying to get to. Now, right there is nice. That was. You just never know when these guys get in those positions. You know, you think, well, he's almost got the advantage position, and then a guy just tucks and rolls, and they're right back in the same position. A lot of technique being shown there, and you know, Suzuki's been doing this for six years, and Frank's been doing it for a little over a year. So Frank has to rely a lot on natural athletic ability, and because he's had a year and a half experience, he's not gonna basically out submission Suzuki, because Suzuki knows a lot more submission holds. But what he can do is use his conditioning and use his power and maybe sneak a submission hold on Suzuki. But
I'm not certain, but he looks to be a little more, you know, stronger as far as strength.
He's
over
strong.
Suzuki.
And he's also quick for being so strong. He's fairly quick, so he can sneak a hold in on Suzuki, and because of his power, be able to power a hold on him. In fact, that's one of the things that I told him that he's going to have to use. He's going to have to use his power in this fight. He's going to have to use his strength. Because if he gets a hold, he's just going to have to really lock it down and use power. Because Suzuki is very good. Right now, Suzuki's going for that choke that Jason had gone for a little earlier. He clamps the head down, tries to go through the front and use the choke. But Suzuki's in a top mount and not in a side position. And it's hard to see right here what's happening, but Frank's got the arm inside. There's a lot of energy being expended right here, just in what they're doing right now. See how Frank's got his arm locked in there? Now, if he explodes, he's going to throw Suzuki off of him over the top. And Frank needs to do this now because he's in a dangerous situation. He needs to get out, and he does. That's good. And he tucks and rolls. He goes for a knee bar right there. He's in a good position, but he's tied up in the ropes right now. He needs to roll him out.
Straighten his leg out.
If he straightens this out, man, he's got him. He's got it all tangled up now.
Yeah, Suzuki knows, and he's curling up into a little ball there.
Now, they're actually in a stalemate position right here. They both have each other's legs, and so they're really in no position. And
we saw this earlier tonight.
Yes.
Fighters and the referee sees it just like you.
Breaks it. All right. So, but I tell you, that was that was a good move that Frank had done there, because he had Suzuki in a very vulnerable situation there. If he would have straightened that leg out, Frank would have used his power, it would have been over. You see me get at the edge of my seat there, so that was a good body shot. Oh, nice roundhouse kick by Suzuki. I don't know if Frank knows where he's at this point in time, so I can't really see his eyes. He's in a choke, and he could be choked out here. He needs to scoot.
Looks like a bad place to be in right now.
Yeah, he's okay. He looks to be in control. Suzuki is actually in an advantage situation now. So right now, Suzuki's trying for what we call a naked rear choke. But he needs to get the legs inside in order to finish this choke off. And see how Frank keeps his knees up tight and snug? He works his hands inside. He wants to get the leg out of there. He doesn't want him to put the leg in. So he'll grab the toe, he's going to pull it out. And now he's okay. He's in no position to be hurt. And he needs to be careful here. Suzuki is very sneaky.
Now, isn't it dangerous to let a fighter get behind you like that? I mean, at the UFC, so many guys, when they turn on their stomachs,
Oh, he's got a choke.
There it is.
Oh, that was too close there. He needs to get off, not stay on his all fours there. And you're right. You know, when a UFC, a fighter gets on all fours,
It's very dangerous.
yes, but in this event, you cannot punch. So it's easier to block.
Right.
Now, when you get a guy on all fours, they broke him because it was a stalemate. There was no one working for position. They're going to start the action over. But they're going to, you know, you have to, you can hit a guy when he's on all fours.
So you're hitting the back of that head, it's very dangerous.
You can hit him in the back, elbow in the back, and it makes him pop the head up, and you can slip the choke in. But when you're not hitting, all it is you can
keep tucked
defend.
in.
You can defend and tuck in. There's no danger.
I see, so it's not as vulnerable.
Yes.
Now, I noticed Frank has thrown several straight rights to the body. That takes a lot of energy out of a fighter. Seems like he likes that technique.
Well, also, if Suzuki decides to drop and shoot, he's going to run into a punch, and that's not a fault. That's not a foul, because it's what we call incidental contact.
Well,
it's not something that's thrown
pretty
on
effective
purpose.
incidental
Yeah.
contact. Frank has shot several of those straight rights to the body, and
Yeah.
yeah, that make me think twice about ducking in.
Ducking and shooting, because you don't want to run into a right hand. And I mean, they're expending a lot of energy. You know, this fight has gone on quite a while, and there's a good roundhouse, and
Almost looked like the knee might have caught Frank in the body.
yeah, actually hit him in the head. Frank throws a right hand to the body.
Ooh,
That was
good
nice.
takedown. Well, that's a karate move right there.
Yeah.
That looks like Shotokan.
It worked.
Yeah, that was a grab the leg is foot sweep.
If Frank's in a good position right now, he could swing into a knee bar right here. If he would clear his head, push down on his face with his elbow, right now what he's doing, and if he would clear the body and Suzuki would break loose of the hands and swing the leg over the top, he could put him into a knee bar. And he's in a great position right now. If he swings that leg over, he could scoop Suzuki's leg. See how Suzuki's knee is up in the air?
Right.
If he could throw this leg over the outside of Suzuki's head and grab that knee, he could be great position for a knee bar. And that's something that we've worked on a lot, is when you're in that half guard position, working for a knee bar. And I guess he chose not to do it. Something didn't feel right, because he moved out of it.
You know, watching it from here, could there be factors that we're not counting on? Possibly
He's driving that elbow.
fatigued, or maybe the speed or the strength of his opponent. There could be factors that we're not counting on why he's not doing certain moves.
Well, a lot of it too is you feel a certain, a lot of it's instinct, and you see how he's cross-facing him. Suzuki's laying there, and I think fatigue is going to start being a factor in this fight. Is who's got the best stamina?
Well, I can see that doesn't take a lot of energy from
Right
Frank
now,
putting that
look at
weight
the
down.
leg. Look at the leg, how he's got it tied up inside. Now he is in a perfect position. If he swings into a knee bar, he can hook that leg. I mean, I'd be screaming at him, do the knee bar. The knee is there. Do it. He's in a good position to finish this fight. He
experience,
feels
isn't it?
something. He
It's
feels
experience.
somehow or another the balance or something, because normally, you know, that's something that's one of our strong points is the knee bar and swinging into a half guard, swinging into a knee bar.
Well, he went for it there. He started to go for it.
He's out of position. Suzuki has gotten a mount position now. Now Frank has to be careful that he doesn't leave anything open where he's at, because Suzuki's sneaky. He's real sneaky, and before you know it, he could be have an arm bar or a leg lock of some sort. He's got to really be careful, and that's why you study your opponents and you understand them, who is good at what. And Panaki's more of a combination type fighter. He goes off combination. Suzuki's more of a snap quick fighter. So you have to understand who you're fighting against, and Suzuki's the type of guy that just he's like a little fly, you know. He's there.
One thing I noticed a lot of these fighters, including Frank, use that forearm and that elbow. Just the pressure on the windpipe and the neck seems to be something they use to just tire the opponent.
Yeah, you know, because it's not comfortable for one.
No, to have that forearm and that elbow driving down on your windpipe, that's got to take a lot out of you.
Yeah, you know, and it'll make you move after a while, you know, because it's not comfortable, and it's just another form. Now, that was a pretty good move by Frank, but
Like just pure force got him.
It was power.
Just pure strength of will.
And he went for a leg lock, but he didn't shoot the knee up inside, so Suzuki's back in the mount position. Now he's working for a toe hold of this position. Now he needs to be careful that Suzuki doesn't slide his legs inside. Right there, he doesn't need Suzuki to slip that other leg inside. He needs to keep his knee up, because if Suzuki gets that inside, he'll choke him. Right there, he's in a dangerous position. Now, right now,
look good.
No, he's safe, okay, because if you see, look, his chin is underneath his elbow. If his chin lifts up, if he gets on the throat, then he has to choke. Right now, Frank has his chin down, and he's in no situation of being choked.
He's trying, though.
Suzuki's trying to get the chin up and slide the arm underneath and choke him out. But as long as Frank keeps the chin down, he's okay. And he keeps
Getting
slides the arm underneath there.
See, he's trying to work that arm free.
He doesn't want it to go down on his neck. He switched. See how quick he is?
Man, that was close.
And Frank needs to keep his chin down, because if he don't, that was good.
Well, that deserves some clapping. I can hear from the audience.
Yeah,
they
you know,
all respect the strength and tenacity of will that Frank showed just to keep from getting that choke put on him.
And the technique that Suzuki showed by getting into that position. And, you know, there's a lot of technique going on. Frank slid his arm underneath, and he needs to, when he does that, he'll explode out of there, throw the opponent over the top. But Suzuki's got his leg tied up in there. But he'll slide the arm in there, he'll keep working that in there, and when he decides that he's ready to go, he'll pop him over the top. He just turn him there. And we're like in a typical guard position. And see what he's doing now? He's doing what Jason did earlier. He'll slide that hand up and on the throat there. He's really not in a position to do that because he needs to be in the side mount. Now, right now, he's in a good position. There's a little frustration going on there.
Get back there. Get back there.
Yeah, would you do what I want you to do now?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's in an armbar situation. He needs to get out of there. That was nice. You see how much is going on there? It's just incredible.
They're going in and out of these different holds, and
well, he's trying.
now this looks dangerous.
Yeah, but you know, in order for this front choke to work, he's got to put the legs around, you know. So I mean, they're exhausted. I mean, this has been a long fight, and they haven't laid down. You know, they've been moving.
Well, Ken, I'm not in that bad a shape, but last week I tried to do a little bit of grappling. I lasted 3 minutes.
It's tough, you know. It's like some of these guys trying to box. You know, you just learn to relax in certain situations. You know, and the ground technique's the same way. Frank's still working the body.
He's still shooting that straight right to the body. If he sneaks one of those in, it's going to take a lot out of it.
There was a nice open hand strike to the side of the head there. Good combination. But I tell you that, you know, the fatigue factor is going to play a part in this because it's gone quite a long time. There was a nice combination again.
Oh!
think that was a slip, and Suzuki figured, well, I'm going to stay where I'm at.
Yeah, the technique's not quite as sharp as it was.
No, you know, and the longer the fight goes, the technique is going to become more of a conditioning factor. They're not going to be going for the combinations. They're going to go for one quick hold. And I tell you, man, these guys are in great shape. This is a long fight with quite a bit of movement going on and lots of technique.
Now there goes the forearm to the neck again. Puts a lot of pressure on the opponent.
Yep. And it's right now, you know, the thought that's going through the fighters' minds right now is like, man, you know, I'm tired. I'm not tired. We'll wait for the opening. He's gonna do this, or like for instance, in Frank's position, he's going, I'm gonna split the legs. You know, I'm gonna work to get into a situation where I can get him into a submission hold. Once I get that submission hold, I'm gonna lock down on it, because this fight's gone a long time, and if he gets that opportunity to put him in a submission hold, he's gonna crank on it. When you get into a fight that goes this long, your power is not there, so you're gonna clamp down on him and make sure he doesn't get away.
Right, here he goes for the leg lock in the ankle.
Yeah,
there.
right here he's setting up for a toe hold. He'll try and slide his hand underneath and turn the toe over.
Yeah, he's twisting it. Looks like he's causing some pain
Yeah,
there,
he's
but
trying to twist it over and go for a toe hold.
the way Suzuki just curls
yeah.
up and just goes with it, it just, you know, and Frank is so tired at this point.
Yeah, you know, they're both going, man, would you just go where I want you to? But they still have a lot left, you know what I mean? I mean, if one of these guys decide to get into a situation where they'll get a submission hold, you'll see the energy that they do have left. Right now,
they'll explode.
They're going to explode. I mean, they still got gas in their tank, and they're still there. They got plenty of energy to finish a fight. So if one of them make a mistake, you're going to see the other one come up with the energy that they didn't know they had.
They're getting an adrenaline rush. They're both so evenly matched.
Yeah, and you see a lot of fighters that are, you know, and it's incredible that the way as fast as they move, as good a shape they're in, and as big as they are.
Right.
20分経過20 minutes.
And they just announced 20 minutes has gone by. That's a long fight, and they've been moving all the time. And right now,
I don't know what Suzuki is doing.
Frank is just moving
He's
around.
just done a 180. Frank's putting those arms up, I think, just to keep the pressure off of his windpipe, I think. You know, that forearm that goes over there.
He's just rolled him. Frank was just laying there resting for a while, and Suzuki's spinning on him, trying to look for an opening. And like I said, as a fight goes on.
Now, was that a kick to the face?
Yeah, yes, it was.
You know, that didn't look legal.
No, you're not supposed to kick like that when you're down on the ground. And but you know, when you're in this type of a fight, his frustration's going to set in a little bit, and it wasn't anything that I would say would have been damaging. Now, if it would have hurt him or cut him or something, then that would be. But this is a title fight, you know.
Yeah.
And that's like I tell Frank, man. In a title fight, things happen. Don't complain about them.
Don't
just
complain
get in
about
there and work with what you have. And be confident.
I mean, I would say that might pass as a push, but it looked like a kick. I mean, it was close.
What he tried to do was, when he spread his legs, he tries to put both feet in the middle of his chest and shove him off.
Right.
But what happened was, when he put both of his feet up, Frank had backed off and he pushed him. But when he pushed him, his leg hit him in the face. So that, you know, that wasn't on purpose. It was, you know, don't complain about those little things. Let's just fight.
If he ducks down when Frank throws one of these body shots, we may be seeing it the other way around.
Yeah, well, you know, those things happen in a fight, you know, and you just it happens. And that's what I tell them. It happens. Right now, that was a good knee.
He answers back with one.
Catches it though.
Well, these guys want it.
Yes,
I'm telling you, they want that.
They're not going to give up on this, man. You know, Frank has worked too hard, too long, and Suzuki's got the ring experience, and he's been here before. He's been here before. That was a good roundhouse by Suzuki.
Right, went right to the body.
They're not going to give this up.
Blasting to the body.
So right now, Frank is in a He's in a position that we were talking about earlier where he has a chance to win this fight. Suzuki's knee is up. All he has to do is clear his head, get up above on his body, spin into a knee bar, and he'll finish this fight. He needs to try it. He just needs to try it. We've worked on this over and over again, and he's in a great position to do it. And there he goes.
Whoa.
Now he's got to, if he could just straighten that out, it's
straight.
He's got it right there. If he locks that out, it's over. It's over. Hit the nail on the head. And when we were talking about that earlier, you know, Frank extending that knee out, he was set up for that several times, but for some reason, he just didn't feel like it was the right time. And boy, he spun into that nicely. And he
That's how
extended
quick
the
it
knee
can
out.
end. That's
Just
how
like
quick
that.
it can end.
That was outstanding. It was very good.
What a strategic bout. Suzuki's all right. He just decided to lay there and take a little bit of a break before he gets back up.
Yeah, once the knee's extended,
all right.
when you're an experienced fighter, your knee gets extended like that, you understand, because you've been doing it so long, that I'm done. I'm done. I mean, you know, it's extended. I'm not going to come back and fight another day. And as a veteran fighter, he understood that he'd done everything he could, and Frank did a
Spectacular finish. Looks like Frank's been listening to you after all.
Well, you know, he's got a lot of natural ability, a lot of natural talent. As you can see, Guy Metzger was in there to congratulate him. Jason DeLucia, you know, there's a lot of camaraderie amongst the fighters in the dojo, in the Lion's Den, and also in the Japan. You know, there's a lot of pride out there, and it's no fun when you fight a hard fight and you lose. But I tell you, it's a great victory when you fight a hard fight and you win.
So where are the two of you going to go from here in Pancrase? I mean, will you ever fight your own brother for the title? What's going to happen with you two guys? I mean, you're a contender in this.
I don't know. I mean, you know, I mean, in this type of event, a brother could fight a brother because of the nature of the sport. You're not going to brutalize anybody. But I don't see that happening for a while, you know. And if it does, we'll talk about it. But I'll tell you, man, I'm really proud of what he's accomplished here. He stepped in for the first time and has taken the title, and that's quite an accomplishment.
Let's look at some of the highlights of this great championship bout.
Well, you know, right here, Suzuki's trying to maintain balance on top of Frank, and Frank's trying to slide the arms up inside. If you'd freeze it there, please. You see right here, Frank's arms are going underneath Suzuki's legs on both sides. And what he's trying to do is he's trying to split Suzuki's legs outside so he can explode him off the top of him. You roll it, please.
It's kind of a power move. He just kind of explodes into it.
Yeah, and a lot of times he doesn't explode out of there, but he keeps his hands in there because it keeps the pressure off of Suzuki coming on top of him. And you see how he got the arm inside there, right here?
Right.
It keeps Suzuki from actually moving
goes.
around, and he'll
Boom.
explode him off the top and come out of there.
He's hanging on tight to that leg.
You see how strong he is? He just
he's
picks
just
him up
so
and
powerful.
And see how Suzuki's like a cat. He's always landing on his feet and always thinking for the next move or the next submission that he can get him in. And right here, I believe Frank just drops down and takes him down to the mat. He'll kick him out. But you know, there's this great balance going on here with Suzuki, with the way Frank is pulling the leg up. He's on one leg, and he's able to balance himself and get his foot back down while Frank's trying to take him down.
Now, is this what Frank is going for here, this kind of a scissor lock on the leg?
As you see right here, Suzuki was trying to roll into a knee bar. He's trying to get Frank in a knee bar, but Frank kept his legs all tied up over here, so he couldn't extend it. And then they ended up back into a mount position. Right here, you see the arm sliding inside again. He'll
Now
explode him off.
There he goes.
And,
He gets a little bit of space, spins out.
And like we were discussing earlier, Frank tucks down for a knee bar here, and he almost gets it, but they're really close into the ropes, and it's really tough for Frank to keep tucking because the ropes are actually stopping him from getting his foot up and over. If you see right here, they're blocking, and they're outside the actual ropes here. See,
amazing
he's working.
thing.
See how he's working for that foot there?
The amazing thing, these guys have been wrestling for over 20 minutes now. They've been fighting and going at it and straining.
Freeze it, please. I mean, look at this. You don't know whose foot's whose.
No, I can't tell. Point it out to me.
So, you know, here's Suzuki's legs, right in here, okay? And Frank is trying to take this foot, and he's trying to extend it straight out this way because he has his legs. This leg is here, and the other leg's on the bottom. That's his foot there. So he has Suzuki's leg trapped in there, and if he can extend that leg out there, he has a knee bar. But Suzuki, see how small Suzuki stays balled up and how small Frank is balled up? This
Compact,
it's
tight.
real small, and you can't do anything if a guy stays really small. It's hard to get anything, but the minute you can stretch him out, then you got him into a submission hold. Roll tape, please. See how small he stays in there? He's still small and compact. Suzuki's got his legs trapped in there. Does not want it to get straightened out. He's pulling Frank's knee out so he can't lock his leg around. There's a nice kick by Suzuki.
But you only get one.
That's it. And there's a little right hand.
Right to the body.
He
Ouch.
looks at him.
Ouch. He's smiling. Oh, boom,
Does
another one. Man. And
Suzuki.
I think we're going to have the old karate takedown here. There it goes. Well, in a point tournament, that would have been a clean score. Foot sweep, strike.
Yeah. These two guys are very competitive, and they fought each other before also, so they know a lot about each other. And last time they fought was very competitive also. You're going to see a lot of good matches out of these two in the future.
It doesn't get much better than this.
Oh, I'll tell you, man, they went after it. I mean, it was over 20 minutes of continuous movement. That's a lot. Right here, I'm going to freeze it. Not yet. Keep it going.
That
Keep
looks
it going.
dangerous.
It does, but when they show a close-up, I'm going to show you why it's not so dangerous.
His chin was down.
He has his chin locked in his elbow, and if they'll show that view here, we'll get it going. Because in reality, he is really not in any danger here, except for the fact is that if Suzuki pulls his head up and can get the arm underneath, he'll choke him out. But as you see here, Frank's chin is down. Right here, you see him just driving the elbow into the face. I mean, that is perfectly legal. You can do that as long as you don't come down on it. Now, right here is the knee bar. He spins in. Now, he was a little slow. If you freeze it there, please. If you saw when he first started out, he whipped the leg around, but his leg planted out here and not here. If he would have continued around with the knee, it would have been a lot more snug and tighter. But he's in a great position now for a knee bar. He has a leg inside, this leg slipping inside. He's got his hand on the back of the foot, and he's going to pull it as his body extends this way. He's going to pull the leg straight out.
So all he needs to do is lean back now.
And clamp the legs together.
Hang on to that ankle.
Roll tape, please. See, he slid the leg through there. He got the legs through there. He's all locked up in there now. Now all he has to do is extend it. Right now, that's a tremendous amount of pain there. He throws the hips forward right there.
He's got it. He's got it. That's it.
Freeze it. See how he had that thing extended all the way up here and how his hips came forward? He has the legs crossed in here. He has the knees clamped down, and he had the ankle pulled up to his chin. He throws this forward and this backwards. And right from that point, you have a tremendous amount of pain on the kneecap area. And as you can see, Suzuki, the expression on his face, I mean, that's a great deal amount of pain. And he knew right in that position when he threw the hips forward that he was not going to turn out of that. Therefore, tap out in the match. Roll tape, please.
That was it. Referee was right there, too. He was about ready to stop it himself.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Suzuki is a veteran fighter, and he knew at that point in time when Frank had clamped the legs together that the fight was over.
You should be very proud, and he should be proud.
I'll tell you, man, he stepped into that knee bar at the right time. Suzuki didn't look like he had much left, and Frank looked like his gas tank was filling.
You know, the Japanese are very much into ceremony. When I used to fight there, they used to hand me at least a dozen trophies, but...
yeah, they're real big into it. Right now, they're awarding him a book, a certificate stating that he's the third holder of the Pancrase belt. And they'll present him with that, and he'll get to take that home.
So this is a very historic event.
Yes.
For the history of the sport as well as for your brother's personal career.
His name will never go away. As I was the first king of Pancrase, he will be the third king of Pancrase, and his name will go on that trophy as you see in the background there.
Forever.
It will never go away as long as the event is around.
続きましてチャンピオンベルトおよびカップの授与をいたします。
And as you can see, he was in great shape. His power was good, and he had to use power in this event because he's not gonna outsmart Suzuki in the submission category. But what he could, like he did, he stepped into that knee bar, and when he got it, he didn't let go. And as they're doing now, they're putting the belt on him. And I tell you what, man, that is a feeling. After all the time that you worked and all the training that you put in the dojo, and they start strapping that belt on you, and knowing as you're looking down, you're going, I don't believe it. You know,
That's the belt he wouldn't look at earlier.
Yes.
He's got it around his waist now.
He can look at it
couldn't
now.
look at it earlier.
And
All
as
he
you
could do
can
is look
see
at
now,
Suzuki.
he's
The
having a
emotions
hard
are
time.
flowing.
Yes.
Yeah, the emotions.
And you know, and it's okay to do that. I mean, you work long and hard for that. And there's a King of Pancrase trophy, and his name will go on that trophy as the third King of Pancrase.
Well, that's about it for us here in Yokohama, Japan. This has been the Pancrase 1996 Tour Truth and the crowning of the new King of Pancrase, Frank Shamrock. Join us next time when Frank Shamrock will defend his title against former King of Pancrase, Boss Rutan. For Ken Shamrock, Ken, it's been a pleasure.
It's been exciting.
I'm Don the Dragon Wilson saying so long, and join us for the Truth Tour's next stop for more exciting Pancrase action. Good night, everybody. Sayonara.